You know that feeling when you check the news? It's like you're trying to drink from a fire hose. There's a story here, a political drama over there, a mind-blowing discovery somewhere else. It's just so much, and it all feels so disconnected.
So that's the big question, isn't it? How do we find the signal in all that noise? How do we actually connect the dots and see the bigger picture of our world right now? Well, that's exactly what we're going to try to do.
We're going to take just a handful of today's major headlines, from something deeply personal and tragic, all the way to a discovery from beyond our solar system, and see what kind of story they tell when we look at them all together. All right, let's dive in.
We're going to start with the stories that hit closest to home, the ones defined by sudden personal loss. These are the events that grab our attention because their impact is just so immediate and so devastating.
Our story starts with a number, 4.
Then, another number, a much larger one, 31.
And finally, a third, more than 50. And you know, these are so much more than just statistics on a slide. They represent families, friends, entire communities completely shattered by loss.
That first number 4 takes us to a corporate office tower on Park Avenue in New York City. A terrible mass shooting took place, and among the victims was NYPD officer Tadaro Islam. In the aftermath, the event has sparked this huge, urgent debate all over again about gun reform and the media's role in all of it.
That number 31, that takes us all the way to Dhaka, Bangladesh, where an Air Force training jet came down right on top of a college campus. It was a complete catastrophe, killing at least 31 people in a really crowded area. It's just a horrifying reminder of how fragile things can be.
Of course, these tragedies don't happen in a vacuum. So let's pull the camera back a bit. From the immediate crisis to the global stage, where big decisions in the halls of power are shaping the world for all of us.
For instance, check this out. The Trump administration has just rolled out some pretty steep new tariffs. We're talking 50% on Brazil, 25% on India, and 15% on South Korea. Now, a move like that isn't just words on paper. It sends these massive shockwaves through the global economy. And, you guessed it, triggers some major diplomatic blowback.
At the same time, a pretty intense political fight was going down in the U.S. Senate. It was all about military arms sales to Israel. There was a big push from some Democrats to block the sales, pointing to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. But in the end, it wasn't successful. The resolutions to block the sales failed, and by pretty wide margins, which just goes to show how deep the political divides are on this.
Now, let's pivot to the world of finance with a number that is just staggering: 50,000 crore rupees. To give you some perspective, that's about $6 billion US. This is the massive scale of a new operation from India's central bank. So what in the world are they doing with all that cash?
Well, it's something called a variable rate reverse repo auction. I know, it sounds super complicated, but in simple terms, the Reserve Bank of India is basically acting like a giant vacuum cleaner, sucking up all the extra cash floating around in the banking system. It's a huge move to try and tackle inflation and keep the economy stable.
Okay, so we've seen personal tragedy and we've seen high-stakes politics. Now let's look at our planet itself. Because right now, there's this incredible contrast playing out. A story of a planet in crisis right alongside a story of pure cosmic wonder. On the crisis front, the data is just stark. June 2025 is now officially the hottest June ever recorded in Britain and for a lot of Europe. You can see it right here. It didn't just break the old record, it absolutely shattered it, leading to all sorts of urgent heat wave alerts. This is a planetary headline with very real consequences.
And yet, at the very same time we're grappling with all of this down on Earth, our telescopes are pointed up, and what they are finding is nothing short of incredible. Get your head around this number, 20 kilometers. That's how big scientists think this comet is. It's called 3I/Atlas, and it's currently flying through our solar system. But here's the really wild part. It's not from around here.
3I Atlas is an interstellar object. So what does that even mean? It means it's basically a tourist. It was born around a completely different star and has been wandering through deep space for who knows how long. And just to give you an idea of how rare this is, it's only the third such visitor we have ever confirmed. A true messenger from another star system.
So, okay, we've jumped from a shooting in Manhattan all the way to a comet from another star. When you step back and look at it all, what does this snapshot of today really tell us about the world we're living in?
It tells us our world is a place of incredible, dizzying contradictions all happening at once. It's a world where tragedy can be intensely personal and local, but at the same time, these huge global forces of politics and money are constantly changing our reality. It's a planet facing enormous challenges, and yet it's still a place where we can look up at the night sky and feel a profound sense of wonder.
All of these stories, from the heartbreaking to the awe-inspiring, are unfolding right now. They're all part of our collective story. And that kind of leaves you with one big question, doesn't it? If this is the story of today, what will tomorrow's headlines say about us?